Good morning, everyone. Again, so we will start our sessions. Again, I will again thank Mr. Harish sir for joining in again today for these sessions and accepted our request to give a session on this critical topic, fixed income securities, which is very important in current scenario. So over to you, Harish sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Sunil. Good morning, friends. Good morning to all who is in this session. Yesterday, we spoke about the basics of fixed income. We understood what type of bonds do we get in the market, how is the primary market conducted, when are the auctions held by the government, how do corporates issue these bonds, as I mentioned, mostly through private placement, how as investors we can directly buy bonds now through NSE's platform, which Sunil will give you details about later today. The most important part in any security is how much returns are you going to get on that. So, as I mentioned yesterday, you will get a coupon income on bonds. All bonds will give you some interest. If I may use a layman language, we say interest kitna milega. So that in the language of bonds are called coupon. Even if the bond is zero coupon, you will definitely still get some interest, some holding period income. So interest income or coupon income is what you get when you hold the bond. So the more the number of days you hold the bond, higher the income you will keep on accruing. You will accrue that income, you will keep on earning that income. The second part of actually getting some returns out of the bonds is if you are smart, if you can read the market conditions very well, especially the macroeconomic conditions very well, you can try and earn capital gain also. Just like equity market, bond prices also fluctuate. So I gave you a basic introduction to it yesterday, but today I would like to go deeper into it, both conceptually as to why bond prices will fluctuate, also mathematically, how does it get calculated. As we all know, equity valuation is not easy at all. It is easy to understand what is Reliance price at 2150, for example, but it is very difficult to ascertain the fair value of Reliance. If you ask somebody, what do you think is the fair value of Reliance? It's not easy. All of you may be aware that we have different valuation methods in equity. You may use a price to earnings approach. You may use a dividend discounting model. You may use a discounted cash flow model for equity. There are so many valuation methods. Bonds, on the other hand, do not have all these valuation methods. We have a very simple formula we use for bonds. So, if all of us have gone to school, and in school, in 8th or ninth grade, they teach us something called compounding. One of the most important finance formulas is compounding. All of you know compounding. That's about it. You don't need anything else to know about how is a bond valued, what is the price of the bond. So you will understand very soon through Excel example that it's not difficult to value a bond at all. So please keep an open mind, because I have met so many participants over the last many years who think that fixed income is very complicated, बहुत number crunching होता है, बहुत difficult है. Mind you, it is much easier than equity valuation. Equity valuation is difficult, very difficult in fact. Bond valuation is not that difficult in terms of calculation. I will talk about that also. Let me share an Excel screen now. No PPT today. Today is a different mode of delivery. I thought let's change something. So I will use Excel for all of you. A simple normal Excel file, nothing complicated. You don't need any macros or nothing like that. Simple Excel file will do. Now, I told you yesterday that bond will have a face value. Face value is the amount per bond on which you will get your coupon rate. So if I say coupon is, let's say, 7% per annum, 7% on what is the face value? So for a government bond in India, face value is 100 rupees per bond. And of course, you can buy as many bonds as you want, depending upon how much money you want to invest. So 100 rupees is the face value, let's assume, and coupon is 7%. Now, in the world of bond markets, when you're trying to do valuation, when you're trying to decide how much money we can make, the most important concept is yield to maturity. If you do not understand YTM very well, it is very difficult for you to make any profits from a trading point of view. Also, to understand whether a bond has to be purchased or not will be a little difficult. Yield to maturity. If you are continuing the session from yesterday, you would remember I spoke a little bit about YTM yesterday. It's a very simple logic of expected rate of return on your investment. What is the expected rate of return that you have on your investment? And obviously, in a bond, investment is the price that you pay. When you say investment in a bond, it is the price that you're basically paying for that bond. So effectively, yield is your rate of return on the price that you're paying. So if you try to understand how is it different from coupon, coupon is a percentage on face value. Face value is more or less fixed. Face value is not going to fluctuate. So the face value is fixed and you're going to get the coupon on that face value. However, the price that you pay may not be always equal to the face value. I will explain you that in a while. So the price that you pay may be higher than face value also, maybe lower than face value also. Let me share one more screen with you before I proceed from this point. I will be toggling between multiple screens. I hope you don't get annoyed with that because I want to show you certain information. Now, consider this screenshot. You can see a simple photograph in front of you. I took a screenshot of the NDS, negotiated dealing system, which is where institutions trade government bonds. I took a screenshot of this yesterday after the market closed, because today is Saturday. Saturday the bond markets are closed, just like equity market. If I today go to the live website, you won't see any data. It will be all blank. That's why I took a screenshot yesterday. Now, if you look at the left hand side, if you look at, there is something called as security description. It says 05.77 GS 2030. Now 0.577 is the coupon. That's the coupon rate which has been decided on that bond. The coupon rate is decided when the bond is issued. It doesn't keep on changing every time. Whenever this bond was issued for the first time, the coupon was decided on that day and it is not going to change. It is not going to keep on fluctuating on an ongoing basis. GS stands for government security. That is what GS means. And 2030 is the year of maturity. Now, obviously, in 2030, there are 365 days. On a particular day, the maturity will happen. What is that particular day? We can easily find out if you want. I will show you where you can find it out. More importantly, if you see the prices, open price, high price, low price, and last traded price, just like equity, you have information. If you see the prices, not only are the prices fluctuating, you can see the prices have moved. More importantly, the price is not the face value. It is not 100 if you see. So the coupon is 5.77, face value is 100, but as you can see, the price is not 100, the price is fluctuating. Why does the price fluctuate? Primarily because of YTM. So in the world of bonds, in the world of fixed income, price is not that relevant. Price is just a calculation. The most important number is yield. Last traded yield, as you can see, 6.1434% per annum. I'll repeat, it is 6.1434% per annum. What does it mean? It means that when yesterday bond traders and bond investors were buying and selling these bonds, the buyers were not happy with 5.77% coupon. Why? Because the coupon was decided maybe a while back. Today, market conditions have changed. Maybe they have heard Reserve Bank of India talking. Maybe they realize that, oh, RBI is saying inflation is a problem. Maybe RBI is hinting that further no rate cuts will happen. The repo rate will not be cut further. So everybody is now saying maybe the interest rates is starting to go up perhaps. That is the reason why no longer investors are happy at 5.77. They want 6.1434. And because they want a higher than coupon as their returns, they are willing to pay a price which is less than 100. I mentioned this yesterday also. Higher the rate of return you expect, you can't change the face value. You cannot change the coupon that was already decided. The only thing you can change is the price you are willing to pay. So yield comes first in your logic. It has to come first. So the question you have to ask is, if I buy a government bond and keep it for 10 years, what rate of return am I expecting today? That rate of return is known as yield to maturity. And once you know what yield to maturity you want, the pricing will be a straightforward calculation, which I will tell you. So calculating price from yield is very easy. The bond trading is not about calculating price. The bond trading is about trying to predict where the yield will be in the future. Because I repeat, yield will fluctuate. Every day, yield is going to fluctuate within the day also. And what is yield? Required rate of return, desired rate of return on your investment. Now imagine there are so many banks, so many mutual funds buying the bond. Not all of them will have the same expected rate of return. Please understand. Not all of them will expect the same rate of return. Everybody has different expectations. It is like, as I said yesterday, Reliance price. Many think Reliance price will go up from here. Many think Reliance price will fall from here. That is all market is all about. Different views, different expectations, different future outlook. So even in bonds, from the current price of 97.25, there are traders and investors who will think that bond prices will go down. Maybe there will be more sellers. Maybe buyers will not be interested to buy at this price. The bond prices will go down. And many others will say, no, this is a good level to buy the bond. The bond prices can go up. So just like any other market, you will see different varied opinions about all this information. That is why the YTM, the yield to maturity, keeps on fluctuating. The most important yield in the bond market is the 10-year benchmark. Just for your information, the second bond that you see, 5.79 government security 2030, the second bond that you see is the 10-year benchmark. It is like saying, if you want to know about what is happening in bond market, just see what is the 10-year bond doing. So these two are important bonds because they will mature 10 years from now. So we call it the 10-year yield. If you talk to any fund manager in fixed income, they would hardly talk about prices. You talk to an equity fund manager about a stock. Of course, an equity fund manager will never talk about a particular stock. But if you generally talk, they will all be talking about buy Reliance at 2150, the price will go up. They're talking in price terms. Bonds, we talk in yield terms. We don't talk in price terms. If you ask a fund manager, what is your view on the 10-year bond? The fund manager will hardly say, I expect the prices to go up by so and so. They will say, I expect yields to soften. They will say, inflation is going to go down. COVID impact is severe. Liquidity is very good. RBI may further cut interest rates, which means overall interest rates will go down. And I also expect bond yields to go down. So they are always talking in terms of yield. And which yield to consider, because there are so many yields you can see. There are so many different yields for so many different bond. The most commonly referred yield is the 10-year yield. Like in equity, we say Nifty is a benchmark. Market क्या कर रहा है? Nifty देखो. Same way, 10-year yield is the benchmark for government bonds. And this 10-year yield fluctuates. That is where trading opportunity comes. That is where, if you are a smart bond trader, you can make money also. I'll explain it to you in detail, but remember, as the yield goes up, the bond prices will fall. As the yield goes down, the bond prices will go up. It's an inverse relationship. What is yield? When an investor is buying a bond today, what rate of return does the investor expect? When an investor expects a yield, a seller agrees, that is when the trade will happen, just like your equity market. Buyer says, I want to buy at 2000. Seller agrees, that's the price. Same way. Buyer says, I need so much yield. I need at least 6.1434. Seller agrees. Seller is like, ठीक है, done, लेके जाओ. That's the yield you are talking about. The yield keeps on fluctuating on a daily basis. Now let me show you one more interesting aspect. As I said, I will keep toggling. Please don't mind that. Let me show you a website now. I hope all of you can see a website of investing.com. There are many websites where you can go and check this. If you have access to Bloomberg, Bloomberg will also show you this. This, if you see, is the 10-year bond yield historic chart. 10-year Indian government bond yield historic chart. If you see over the last 1 year, this is the last 1 year data for your information, the yield has fluctuated a lot, as you can see. This is what I want you to understand first. That coupon is fixed. Everybody knows coupon is so and so rate, but not everybody is going to expect and be happy with that coupon, because the expectations will keep on changing. What are the factors based on which expectations will change? I will tell you very soon. But do understand, yield will fluctuate. Just imagine December 2019, the yield was 6.8% roughly. 10-year yield was 6.8%. And then obviously, as we came into this year, during COVID impact and all that, yield in the month of March went as low as you can see, 6.1%. So from 6.8% yield, the yield, that is the expected rate of return, went lower because COVID hit us. We knew that inflation is going to go down. We knew that GDP will obviously be impacted negatively. We expected RBI to cut interest rates, and RBI did cut interest rates. As you can see, the yield went further lower to 5.76% on July 10th. So from 6.8 to 5.6%. Now, if you are holding this bond all this while, it doesn't matter to you. You are going to keep getting your coupon. Understand? If you're a long-term investor, all these things will not matter to you. This is all mark to market. You can ignore mark to market. Where prices will fluctuate. Doesn't matter. You have purchased the bond, you will keep on getting that income. But if you're a trader, this yield going down means prices have gone up. This is capital gain for you. So in the last 1 year, especially 6 months, a lot of capital gain has been made in bonds. And you can see this in mutual funds. You can see this in any bond portfolio. Bond returns have been in double digit over the last 1 year or so. Double digit, 12%, 15% kind of returns. But from July, if you see, when rates went down, COVID was improving, lockdown started to get lifted slowly, inflation was threatening to go higher. From there, if you see, from 5.76, the yield has gone up. It has gone up to 6.1, 6.2. Now, understand, the yield has gone up because the expectations have changed. Now, the expectation is the growth is only going to go better from here in the next 1 year. The worst is behind us. Lockdown is lifted. Slowly, gradually, economic activity is back. Inflation will be back, and maybe RBI has to increase interest rates at some point. So, as RBI increases the interest rate, all the expectation for interest rates will go higher. So, the bond yield also went higher, which is a capital loss. It's a mark to market loss for anybody who bought the bond at this level of 5.7% yield. Because the yield at 5.76 would have a price of, let's say, 100, assume. As yield went up, the price would have gone down. That's a loss for you. You can make a loss also in bond market. But suppose you bought at 5.7% yield, you are happy to earn 5.7, you bought it. And you're willing to wait till maturity. Don't worry about all these movement, all that is secondary. It's like you bought SBI at, let's say, 180 rupees couple of months back, 180 rupees, or even last month, and you are holding SBI for long term. You are like, I don't want to sell it, I will hold it. Now, it doesn't matter to you whether SBI went from 180 to currently 225 or it will go down. It doesn't matter to you. You're holding it for long term. I told you yesterday, once you buy the bond, you can trade on it or you can simply hold for it in the long term. If it's a government bond, you will always get your coupon on a half yearly basis. No risk. Government is never going to default. So don't worry about that. But if you want to trade, do remember bond prices fluctuate because yield fluctuates. Now I will come back to Excel. So I will keep toggling. I was just showing you that the yield is not a constant. The yield is a variable. YTM keeps on changing based on market conditions. What are the important factors to consider? The most important factor to consider is what will RBI do with interest rates? This is the most important factor because RBI, I hope you understand, is the main entity which controls interest rates. I'm not getting into technicalities. To be honest, it is the Monetary Policy Committee. I do understand. It's not just RBI. Now, if you know, there is a Monetary Policy Committee which decides the repo rate. Now, how does RBI decide interest rates? There are multiple factors that they are considering. So, you should also consider those factors. Expected inflation. Is inflation, consumer price index based inflation, going to go up or going to go down? If you think it is going to go down, make no mistake, interest rates will be stable. But if you think it is going to go up, interest rates may go up also. Inflation itself has a lot to do with GDP, which is your growth factor. So if economy is slowing down, like due to COVID, inflation also is expected to slow down. But there are cycles. All of us know cycles. GDP can slow down, then GDP can recover, then again GDP can slow down. Cycles. So when GDP recovers, like let's next 5 years, inflation may go up. Your interest rates may also have a rising cycle and then a cutting cycle and so on and so forth. If you can read the cycle well, you can make a lot of money from bonds. If you are aware of mutual funds, this is what dynamic bond funds try to do. If any of you are aware of mutual funds, dynamic bond fund category tries to do this. They try to read the movement of interest rates and then change their portfolio to either make a lot of capital gain or just earn the coupon income. So they try to do that, and many of them have successfully done it over the last many years. Liquidity is important. I mentioned this yesterday also. Do banks have money to buy bonds? Are they getting a lot of deposits? If yes, a lot of that money will go into bonds. You may be aware that Indian commercial banks have to maintain statutory liquidity ratio. Many of you may be aware of banking regulations. So for every 100 rupees deposit you get, you have to park 18% in SLR. And most of the SLR goes into government bonds, government securities. So there's an intrinsic demand if deposit growth is happening. Do mutual funds have money to invest? Are mutual fund getting the flow AUM in the bond funds? Then they will also go and purchase bonds. That is also important. And fifth, obviously, is overall demand supply that can come because of multiple buyers and multiple sellers in the market. So, what I'm trying to say is very simple. Uh, the yield as a number will keep on fluctuating. It is not going to be constant. Coupon will be constant. Coupon is not going to change. Coupon will be constant. But the YTM that you are expecting on the bond may not be 7%. It may be 6.14% also, because maybe 7 was the coupon 2 years back. Since then, the interest rates have come down. So today, if you expect 7%, nahi milega. See, expect करने के लिए आपको कुछ भी expect कर लो, but everybody should get it also, right? If you go to a bank today and say, I am a FD investor for the last 20 years. I've been investing in fixed deposit for the last 20 years. If I say to a bank, 20 years back, I was getting 12% on my FD. 10 years back, I was getting 8% on my FD. So I am expecting I should get 8% today also. The bank will say, sorry, the conditions have changed. I could have given you 8% 10 years back, but today, unfortunately, I can only give you, let's say, 4%. Now, you can expect 8. You can say, no, I will only invest if it is 8. But you have to be realistic that you are not going to get 8. If you keep the money without investing, you will earn nothing. Better it is to earn 4%, which is the current market rate. Same way, 7 was the coupon when the bond was issued. Very good. But now, if you invest, you will not get 7, you will get the yield 6.14 or whatever it is. And once you know the yield that you are expecting, you can easily calculate the price of the bond, which is a simple, very simple calculation, nothing complicated about it. The only formula that you need to know for bond pricing is a formula called discounting. A lot of people think fixed income is complicated, it has too much numbers and mathematics. Honestly, if you're in the world of investing and financial market, discounting is a very simple thing. Discounting is present value of any cash flow. If you want to calculate the present value of any future cash flow you are going to get, what you simply do is you divide it with 1 plus rate of return. And what is the rate of return for a bond? YTM to the power n. How many years later are you going to get the cash flow? So in bonds, you have future value. You're going to get some future value. What is the present value of that cash flow? Some of you may straight away understand discounting is the opposite of compounding. This is the most important formula in finance, right? You must be telling your equity investors, रहने दो stock में पैसा, compounding effect मिलेगा. Be a Warren Buffett, we say. Warren Buffett ने कैसे पैसा कमाया? Compounding. What is compounding? आज, if you invest something today, present value, times 1 plus, we say rate of return, whatever is the rate of return you will get, to the power number of years, compounding. This is the formula which we do in school level. Very important formula in investment, right? I'm sure all of you know this formula. Opposite of compounding is discounting. You just take this 1 plus r to the power n on this side. So it becomes divided by r. Rate of return in a bond is YTM that you're going to get. That's it. I am not making it up. The only formula you need to know in bond pricing is discounting of cash flow. That's about it. Nothing else. I'll give you an example. I'll give you a simple example. Let's say on, suppose 4th of September 2020, just an example, on 4th of September 2020, you buy a treasury bill. This treasury bill have a 91 days maturity. I told you yesterday, treasury bill can be 91 days or 182 days or 364 days. So you are investing for 91 days. You have some money for 91 days. The redemption value after 91 days is going to be 100 rupees per bond. 100 rupees per bond. Now, what is the yield to maturity that you expect? So as an investor, if you are putting money for 91 days, what rate of return will you reasonably be happy with? Now, again, be realistic. You may say, I need 18% for 91 days. I mean, come on, we must be joking, right? If you are expecting 18% from the government of India, because currently the rates are very low. So you will think, when you say you, the investors will say, see, I'm very happy at something like 3.4% per annum. You're saying you want 3.4% per annum. Everything in bond markets is per annum. So even if it is for 91 days investment, we will always talk interest rate per annum. Everything is per annum. FD rates are per annum. It never is absolute. That's it. You just need the yield you are looking to earn. You can easily calculate the price. And how do you calculate the price? Simple discounting formula, this formula. So future value is 100. In treasury bill, you get nothing else. You will only get the 100 back. So 100 is the future value divided by 1 plus. If the maturity is less than 1 year, there is no to the power. To the power is if it is a long-term bond. If it is a short-term bond, 1 plus whatever is the yield you are expecting. How much yield are you expecting? 3.4%. 3.4 is per annum. You're not investing for 365 days. You're investing for 91 days. So 3.4% is for 365 days. How much for 91? That is this calculation. 3.4 times 91 by 365. Nothing complicated. This is like daily normal money calculation that we do. 3 महीने के लिए कितना टक्का रिटर्न्स मिलेगा? How much will you earn? 3.4 into 91 by 365. So this is 1 plus R. Not to the power because it is less than 1 year. That's it. This is the price of your bond. This is the price of the bond, 99.1595. So if you invest 99.1595, government will definitely give you 100 back. Your yield is 3.4% per annum. That's about it. My dear friends, there is nothing complicated in bond pricing. Now you may say, but this is a treasury bill. It only has one cash flow, which is the maturity value. How about a coupon paying bond, which has so many cash flow? I understand, but the same formula will be used for each cash flow separately. Just treat a bond has many cash flows, discount each cash flow to its present value. All the total present value is the bond's price. Nothing else is important. For example, let me take one more example for you now. Let's assume you are buying a bond which has a face value of 100. Coupon rate is, let's say, and this is a coupon paying bond now. Suppose coupon is 7% per annum. The payment of the coupon will be annual. You're going to get one coupon every year. Maturity of this bond is, let's say, 6 years, for example. It's a 6-year bond where you're investing today and you will keep on getting coupon every year and maturity value will be after 6 years. And let's assume the yield you're expecting, let's assume is, let's just take an example, 7%. You're very happy with 7% per annum. You're very happy. You're willing to pay 7%. Now, if you know the basics of bonds, if you've read it in your MBA days or any studies that you must have done, they say if yield is equal to coupon, it's a very common thing we hear a lot. Sorry. If yield is equal to coupon, yield is YTF, yield is what you expect, is equal to the coupon rate, then the price that you pay will be equal to the face value. This is what we say in bond markets. So you're getting 7%, you're happy at 7%, you're also expecting 7%. Yield is coupon, price is face value. Let me show you how the calculation works. Simple. Year 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I will tell you that you don't have to do this when you do the trading. I will give you Excel formulas also. I am just telling you how the logic works. Because I want you to understand it is nothing but one formula, nothing else. It's very straightforward, very, very straightforward. So year 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Cash flow. What are you going to get from the bond? 7% of 100 you will get every year. 7, 7, 7, 7, 7. In the last year, you will get the principal also back. You will get the 100 also back. You just have to calculate the present value of these cash flows, nothing else. What is the present value? Future value divided by 1 plus your expected rate of return, which is called yield. And I'm freezing that cell because I am going to drag down the formula to the power. Now this is more than 1 year, right? So we have to consider to the power 1 because the first cash flow is 1 year away. Second cash flow is 2 years away. The first cash flow's present value is 6.54. What is the meaning of 6.54? Simple. If you invest 6.54 today and you are expecting 7% returns, so you are expecting 7% on 6.54. Simple. You're investing 6.54 today. You want 7% return on investment. That is what you said is your expected yield. So 7% on 6.54. You're expecting so much income. Your total will become 7. So you invested this much. You got this much returns. Total is 7. This is the 7 you are getting after 1 year. That's how it is basically working. What should you invest today to earn a future value? Same for second year. Sorry. Same for second year now to the power 2. Now, why has the value gone down? because you're investing today and you will get the 7 after 2 years now. So 2 years interest you are adding on this. 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, and for the 6th year. Same future value divided by 1 plus yield to the power n. Only single formula that you need to know in bond market. Equity is very complicated, but you trade equity so comfortably. Bonds are also very easy. You just need to get over the numbers. That's it. These are all the present values for each of the cash flow. The total of these present values is the price of the bond. This is the price of the bond. The total of the present value of this cash flow is the price of the bond. And I told you, if the yield and coupon is going to be same, the price will be equal to face value. And as you can see, the price has come to exactly 100 rupees per bond. Now, not everybody may expect 7%. Understand? Some bank will say, I'm very happy at 6.8% also because my cost of funds is lower. I'm very happy at 6.8. If somebody expects a lower yield, the price will go up. You will end up paying a higher price. Lower the yield, higher the price. If it is 6.8, the price, as you can see, has gone up. You can see the price has gone up 100.959. Suppose you expect 6.5 only, you will end up paying a higher price. You can see 102.42. Suppose somebody says, I want 8%, the price will go down. In other words, if you buy a bond when the yield is 7, you bought it at yield of 7, and after few days, the yield has become, let's say, 6.75%. Yield has gone down, the price would have gone up. And this is your capital gain. You can sell and make a small capital gain if you want. Because as the yield fluctuates, the price will also keep on fluctuating. Higher the yield, lower the price. Now, there are so many bonds in the market. Are you going to do this detailed calculation? Because some bonds may be 30 years also. No. Our life is very simple because all this calculation has been simplified for us by Excel. In Excel, we have simple price function that you can use. But simply using function will not tell you what is Excel doing in the background. That is why you need to know this is how the calculation is working. Excel is also doing the same thing, but of course it is Excel, so it can do it much faster. So in Excel, you can use what is called as a price function. You can use a price function in Excel. But if you use the price function in Excel, I'm telling you upfront, it will ask you for some information. Because if you use an Excel function, it will ask you for some data. It will ask you for some information. What information? It will ask you for what is called as settlement date. Excel will ask you this information. What do you mean by settlement date? When are you paying for the bond? If you're buying the bond, when are you paying for it? Not trade date, settlement date. I hope all of you know if you buy equity today, you're not paying for it today. It's T plus 2. Government bonds settlement cycle is T plus 1. Settlement cycle in government bonds, treasury bill as well as long term government bonds is trade date plus 1 day for settlement. So when you buy the bond today, the settlement of the bond will happen tomorrow. It's a T plus 1 settlement that will happen. So you want to mention the settlement date to Excel. Your Excel will ask you for that. Excel will ask you for face value. Excel will ask you what is the face value of the bond. Excel will ask you what is the maturity date of the bond. Excel will ask you what is the coupon rate. Excel will ask you what is the YTM. Excel will also ask you what is the frequency of coupon payment. Are you going to get the coupon once a year or twice a year or 4 times a year? Government bond pays coupon twice a year. So they will ask you what is the frequency of coupon payment. That's it. They will ask you for all this information. Plus, one very, very important information called day count convention. Now, this, my dear friends, a lot of people find very confusing. They think it is illogical, but the fact of the matter is, if you buy the bond on, let's say, September 5th, and if you sell the bond on, let's say, November, let's say, I will just change the date. Suppose I buy the bond on 5th September 2020 and I sell the bond on, let's say, 12th of November 2020, suppose. Just an example. So you bought the bond on 5th September, you sold the bond on 12th November. Now, as a layman, as a normal human being, the way you calculate the number of days will be, I bought the bond on 5th September. So obviously, I will keep on counting the number of days. September has 30 days, October has 31 days, and so on and so forth. Unfortunately, or fortunately, or maybe it doesn't matter, in bond markets, there is a way to calculate number of days. So for government bonds, for example, government bonds in India, Indian G-Secs, the day count convention is practically known as 30 by 360. This is the term we use, 30 by 360. What does it mean? It means whether you like it or not, we assume there are 30 days in every month. Now you may say, ये क्या assumption है? February doesn't have 30 days. March has 31 days. August has 31 days. We all know. I agree. But when we calculate the bond price, when we calculate accrued interest, I will tell you accrued interest also, we have to assume a convention. For Indian government bond, it is 30 by 360. So when you calculate the number of days here, you will say September will be, if you buy it on 5th of September, then you're talking about 26 days in September. Understand, you're paying for the bond on 5th. So 5th onwards till 30th, you have held the bond for 26 days. October, by this convention, will also be 30 days and not 31. That is what I'm trying to tell you. You would have counted 31, but not in the government bond market. We count 30. Doesn't matter. So you need to have day count convention also understood for each bond. Government bonds in India, standard 30 by 360. Corporate bonds, suppose you are talking about corporate bonds. Corporate bonds may have different day count convention. It may take actual number of days, like October 31 days it can take, divided by 365. It can take different conventions. So when a corporate bond is issued, there will be an offer document. In that offer document, you can see what is the day count convention. It is easily available. That you will need to calculate the price. Otherwise, ek din se bhi, even due to one day, the price can have a little bit of difference. Understand that. Even a day matters. Even one day will matter when it comes to calculating the price. Even a day. So, this is the information that you need. When are you paying for the bond? What is the face value? What is the maturity date? What is the coupon rate? What is the YTM? Because I already explained you YTM is the most important number. How many times coupon will be paid in a year? 1, 2, 3, 4. How many times? And what is the day count convention? Now let me, for your information, take a live example. When I say live, market is closed today. But let's see. I will again keep sharing something else. I'll take another 15-20 minutes or so. Please be patient. This is yesterday's live market. Yesterday, market closed. Obviously, today is not open. You can see there is a bond called 5.77 2030. Let me take that as an example to show you how Excel works. You can see the last traded yield, yesterday's closing yield was 6.1434 and last traded price was 97.25. So what does it mean? At this yield, the price should come to 97.25. Let's check whether that can happen. So I am going to put some information here. You will not be able to see it for a second. I'm just filling up the Excel. Face value is 100 for the bond. Coupon rate is 5.77%. I'm getting this information from the screenshot. 5.77 is the coupon. Yield is 6.1434. Yield is 6.1434% per annum. Right? Now, the price as per Excel. Sorry, the price as per the actual market is 97.25. I will take you back to Excel. I will be toggling screens as I said because I'm showing you multiple information. I just put the information here if you see. Coupon rate 577, YTM 6.1434, price as per NDS, the actual market price 97.25. What is NDS? Negotiated dealing system. Now, what else do we know about the bond? We know face value is already 100. We know government bond is 100 face value. We already know that. There is no confusion about that. Correct? Maturity date. Now, if you see in the NDS screen, it was mentioned 2030. There was no maturity date mentioned. We need the exact date. I will tell you where to find it. Settlement date. Very important. Now, settlement date is T plus 1. You saw the information of yesterday. That was the traded price. Yesterday was the trade date. If yesterday was the trade date, when is the settlement date? You have to understand that. The settlement date obviously is not yesterday, right? You're not going to pay yesterday. You're going to pay in the future. So you're going to pay on 31st of August 2020. This is the price this is the date on which you're going to pay. I hope you know Monday. Your trade date is Friday, T plus 1. So Monday is T plus 1. T plus 1 from Friday is Monday. So you will pay on 31st August. Maturity date, I will tell you where to see. Frequency of payment. We already know government will pay 2 as the frequency of payment. Take on convention 30 by 360. So we have all the information ready to use a simple Excel function to calculate the price. The only thing we need is maturity date. And for that, I would like to share. I want you to be enabled. I want you to know where the information is. So, one last time, I am taking you to a website again. So, if you want to know about any government bond, you can go to RBI's website. Reserve Bank of India, our central bank, RBI's website, you go. Go to statistics. In statistics, there is something called data releases. So, go to data releases. Homepage, statistics, data releases. Go to the end of this page. Go to the end of this page. You will see list of Government of India securities outstanding. You will get every single government bond which has been issued by the government in India till date, which is not yet matured. You can see this. As on August 24th, all the government bonds which are outstanding. You can see the maturity date also. So December this year, this bond will get matured. So anybody holding that bond will get the money from the government of India. You can see 49,000 crores. 21st December and 13,000 crore. You can see a lot of information here. FRB means floating rate bond. You can see this total. And if I, just for your information, if I take you to the total list, there are so many government bonds outstanding. You can see 90 bonds have been issued which are not yet redeemed. 90 outstanding bonds. Total value 65 lakhs crores. 65 lakhs crores is the total government of India borrowing from government bonds. Treasury bills is separate. This is only the long-term government bond, 65 lakh crore. Now, if you want to find out about our security, if you remember, is this one 577 2030. This is the security we saw. When was it issued? It was issued just 3 weeks back, just a month back, 3rd August 2020. What is the maturity? 3rd August 2030. This is what we want. The maturity date, 3rd August 2030. That's it. This is what I actually wanted, for which I came to this particular page. You can get it for any bond, by the way, any outstanding government bond. 3rd August 2030. You got it? Now let's go back. Excel, 3rd August 2030. That's it. This is 3rd August 2030. Mil gaya. We got all the information. Now, price as per Excel is a very simple function called price. PRICE, price. Simple. Just a simple function called price. What is the information it is asking for? Settlement date. What is the next information it is asking for? Maturity date. What is the next thing is asking for? Rate. Rate means coupon rate. YLD. YLD is yield to maturity. What is the redemption price? How much will you get back on redemption? Face value 100. What is the frequency of the coupon payment? It is showing you if it is annual coupon paying bond, put 1. If it is semi-annual, put 2. If it is quarterly, put 4. And we know it is semi-annual. There are 2 coupons a year. So 2. And what is the day count convention? You can see different day count conventions are given. What do we want? We want 30 by 360. So you can either put a 0 or a 4. 0 is also 30 by 360. 4 is also 30 by 360. Both will matter. Don't worry. You can put whatever you want. That's it. You just need the information about the bond. Put it, and suppose this is the yield at which you are buying the bond. Calculate the price of the bond. That's it. This is the price. Now, you will say, but in NDS, we had 97.25. NDS did not say 0 to 5. The reason is something that all of you know about markets, tick size. You must be knowing about tick size in equity. I'm sure all of you know that. Do you know that Infosys price cannot be 919.23? All of your seasoned market professionals, I hope you know Infosys price cannot be 919.23. I hope you know that. Because when you place an order in the order matching system, it's either 20 or 25. I'm sure you know. It's multiples of 5 paise for stock. Same way, for bonds, it is 0.0025. That's a tick size, 0.0025. So 97.2400 is fine. The next price, if you have to quote, is 2525. You can't quote something in between. So this price, if you see, is 2503. 03, right? 02503. That's not a valid tick size. So it's either you go lower to 25 or go higher to 2525. What is nearer, you are going to 25. That is why you are seeing this. That's it. You have to simply have a Excel file like this. You will be able to know what is the price. Suppose you buy this bond today. Suppose you bought it today. You paid this price of 97.25. You bought it. You held it for, let's say, 5 months. Suppose you held it for 5 months. And after 5 months, suppose the yield is 5.9125. Yield went down. Suppose the yield in the market went down. The price of the bond will go up. You can see the price has gone up. So you will make a capital gain of buying price minus selling price. As in selling price minus buying price. You make a gain of this much per bond. Why? Because the yield went lower. Now understand, you made a profit of 1.68 in, let's assume, say 5 months, for example, just an example. How much is your ROI? Your ROI is this much on an investment of 97.25. So you're earning approximately 2%, 1.7% in 5 months. 1.7% in 5 months. Now you may say, ये तो बहुत कम है. Equity gives me much more. I understand, but equity is risky also, right? The risk and the reward has to be looked at in a similar way. Can equity prices go down by 10% after you buy? Yes. Can the bond price go down by 10%? Very unlikely. Very, very unlikely. Understand, if the price has to go down, the yield has to go up. So you bought at 6.1434. Suppose it goes up, it goes to 6.5. 6.5, 35 basis points higher. Price will go down. You will make a loss of 2.6% on your investment. So you can make a loss also if you enter at the wrong time and the yield goes up. As a trader, you can make a loss. But if you're an investor, you're a long-term investor, you can lock this yield. Lock it. Lock it means you bought it. Khatam karo. Wait for maturity. You will get back 100 anyways. Every year you will get 5.77 on a half yearly basis. So You don't have to worry about secondary market if you're a long-term investor. But if you are looking at it from a trading point of view, obviously, as the yield changes, prices will fluctuate. If it goes back to 5.7, you can make a good 3 point something percent in 5 months. I hope you understand that's almost 7-8% per annum. Also, don't forget, you will get your coupon also for 5 months. Don't forget, you will get your coupon also for 5 months. Absolutely no doubt. So you bought the bond, you sold the bond. This price that you are getting on NDS is known as clean price. Clean price is called X interest price. So this price does not include your coupon income. It is excluding the interest. X interest means excluding the interest. It is not calculating your coupon income. Your coupon income will be over and above this gain that you have made. So coupon income will anyways be coming to you for whatever number of days or months of holding. You will, from the buyer of the bond, the buyer will give you not only this price, the buyer will also give you accrued interest. Why? Because obviously I have held the bond for some time. I will also get accrued interest from the bond. Accrued interest is nothing but how much will you get as coupon for the number of days you are holding the bond. So if you sell the bond, just an example, if you sell the bond on, suppose, just an example, let's say 14th of January 2021. So you bought the bond on 31st of August 2020. You're selling the bond on 14th of January at this price. Suppose the price is this. So you already made a capital gain, but you will also get your coupon income. You will get your coupon income at the rate of 5.77%, but for only the number of days you are holding the bond, not for obviously the entire year. You are not holding the bond for full year. You will get the bond only for that many number of days. Now, again, the question is, how many days were you holding the bond? Remember, take count convention. You can't take 31 days when you are counting the number of days. You have to take 30 days in a month. I will tell you. I'll summarize it if you want. You bought at you bought on 31st of August 2020. You're selling on 14th of Jan 2021. When you're counting the number of days for August, just for your information, there is no day because 31 is not counted for number of days. So there is no coupon that you will get. September, because next month is September, 30 days. Now that is logical because anyway September has 30 days. October, 31 days. Sorry, October also 30 days. So even though there are 31 days, we will only take 30 days in a month. November, 30 days. December, also 30 days. No 31. So आपको दिख रहा है directly 2 days gone. You will say, but there were 2 days in between. Sorry, you will not be getting interest like that. It will be 30 days every month. January, so I'm assuming you are getting this money back on 14th. I'm assuming you're getting it back on 14th. So January 13th. Assuming you're getting the money on 14th. So if you get the money on 14th, you will not get the coupon for 14th. You will get the coupon till yesterday. That's it. These are the number of days you will get the coupon for 133. So we will not take 31 here and 31 here. No. We will take 30 days in every month. As a result, your coupon income will be 100 rupees is the face value, 5.77% multiplied by half, because you're getting half yearly coupon. So per half is 2 point whatever, and you're not investing for one full half. You're investing only for 133 days. 133 divided by 180. In other words, you can take it like this also. You can take it like this also if you want. 5.77% per annum. 100 rupees is the face value. Now you may argue that I did not pay 100, I paid 97.25. Doesn't matter. Coupon is not on your price. Coupon is on face value. 133 days you held on, 360 days in a year. Why? That's the day count convention. 360 days in 1 year. That's it. This becomes your coupon income. So, what is your total income? Your total income in this bond is capital gain plus coupon. You made this much rupees per bond. How about return on investments? How much ROI did you make? You made 5.4016 as a percentage of the price you paid. If you remember, in my example, you bought the bond yesterday at 97.25. You have made 5.55% for 133 days of holding, by the way. Or you can say 135 days because you actually held it for 135 days. Now, just think about it. 5.55% for roughly a little more than 4 months. Not bad, right? In 4 months, if you can make 5.5, you're talking about 15-16% per annum kind of a gain. And on a government bond. Now, can this go negative for you? Of course, it can go negative. Yield unfortunately did not go in your favor. Yield unfortunately went up. It did not go down, it went up. Absolutely possible that you have a loss, capital loss. Total income also goes negative. So you still have your coupon, by the way. You still get your coupon. No doubt about that. But capital gain may become capital loss. You can see this. And also, I don't know whether you're noting something. Whether the yield is higher or lower, whether it is a capital gain or a capital loss, your coupon income will not change. Just focus on this. Your coupon income is not changing. Please understand. Whether the yield is lower or whether the yield is higher, the coupon income will not change because coupon income is nothing but your accrued income. And when you in the secondary market sell this bond, when you sell this bond, you will not only get this price, which is called clean price, you will also get this coupon income, which is called dirty price. Dirty price is called cumulative of interest price. Cumulative of interest. Cumulative of interest means what is the price as per the yield calculation? I told you it's a discounting formula we have to use, plus how much is the coupon. So clean price plus accrued coupon is called dirty price per bond. And remember, whenever you see NSE's trading screen for bonds, NSE will also show you all the traded data on NSE. Or you see NDS. Whenever you see the price on a screen, whatever you're seeing, remember it is always clean price that you will get. NDS or NSE or any trading screen does not show you dirty price, it will show you clean price. The clean price keeps on fluctuating based on yield. The dirty price is not what they are showing to you. This, my dear friends, is what is clean price and dirty price. Clean price is what is as per the yield calculation, but you will also get accrued interest. You will get your coupon, and total price becomes your dirty price. Now, I understand if you're learning all of this for the first time, it might become a little intimidating. You might like, oh my god, there are so many numbers. To be very honest, to be very, very honest, there's not much. It's just one simple formula and one concept called day count convention.
I just make myself unmute just to say that in NSE, since government securities also started trading in capital market segment,
Yeah.
there we trade at a dirty price because the settlement is happen whatever is the trade price, that is the logic of capital market. So in
Okay.
capital market we trade at dirty price. In debt segment it is a clean price, but when since it is for retail segment, so for retail player we trade in dirty price to make it easy that whatever price you are paying, that is the price you are going to buy or you are going to sell. Make it simplify.
Awesome.
Just okay.
Thank you so much, Sunil. So,
Yeah.
to make it simple, now this is a wonderful thing because you don't have to now do two calculation. NSE is saying we will anyways be showing you dirty price, so you know exactly what will be your outflow. You will know how much money do you need to have in your bank account to buy bonds. Suppose you say, I want to buy 1,000 bonds at this price. It may become misleading if you don't know accrued interest. Because you will say, oh, I need 94,000 rupees, 94,000 something. No, you're also supposed to pay the accrued interest if you're a buyer. Your actual investment could become 96,847. So you need that much money in your account before your broker will execute that trade. So that's a very good information, Sunil. Thank you for that. Because in the bond market, as you rightly said, it's always clean price. So NDS, let me add, NDS is clean price. NDS shows clean price if you're comparing or if you're checking the market. NSE capital market, as Sunil has rightly clarified, will show dirty price. So you know exactly how much money you're supposed to pay. You will not have any confusion to calculate and all that. And again, I have seen a lot of people over the last 15 years of my training. They don't feel comfortable with 30 days in a month, but understand I can't change it. I did not do create the logic. Please don't say that, can we do something else. No, we can't. It's a convention for government bonds. For corporate bonds it may be 31 days also, no doubt about that. But for government bonds it is 30 days. And there is a tick size you will see on the NDS, which will be 0.0025. In NSE screen, dirty price will be calculated as clarified, and you will know how much to pay. I would like to repeat only one formula you need. I used a Excel formula to make your life simple. I can calculate this entire 97.25 price, whatever we got on the NDS screen. I can actually calculate in this way also. But for you, it will become a too unnecessary, complicated calculation because you don't need to do all that. There is an Excel function available. You just need this information. But what is Excel doing? Just to know intuitively how is the price getting calculated? Just the opposite of compounding formula you need to know. I repeat, there is nothing more in bond mathematics. I'm not trying to show you a simplified version. I'm not trying to say when you come to the market, kuch nahi hota hai. This is what happens. This is exactly how bond is calculated. Nothing complicated happens. Of course, many will feel this is also complicated. But with due respect, if we know the basics of finance, which is this formula, I don't think it is very complicated, especially if you're dealing in stocks and derivatives, which is so much more complicated. If you know futures and options and premium, option premium is based on so many factors. Black-Scholes is so complicated. As compared to all that, this becomes very straightforward. I would like to add one important point now. We all know that if yield goes up, as I showed you through calculation also and conceptually also, bond prices will fall. There is no doubt about this. And if yield decreases, if the yield goes down, bond prices will rise. We already know this. However, imagine there is a 1 year bond, there is a 5 year bond. Suppose, just an example, there is a 10 year bond that you're talking about in the market. There is a 20 year bond, for example. Now, 1 year bond, this is all maturity. Maturity of 1 year, maturity of 5 year, maturity of 10 year, and maturity of 20 year. Suppose YTM decreases in all these bonds. YTM decreases in all these bonds. Suppose the YTM is decreasing in all these bonds. Let's assume that YTM is decreasing in all these bonds by 25 basis points, which I hope you understand is 0.25%. Correct? 25 basis point is 0.25%. Goes down. Now, in all the cases, price will increase. No doubt about that. Price will go up in all the cases. It will go up. However, the price will not go up proportionately. The price will not go up in the same way. This bond price will increase by the smallest percentage. And this bond price will increase by the highest percentage. What am I trying to say? Long term bonds are more sensitive on a price yield relationship as compared to a short term bond. If you're holding a 10-year bond and the yield goes up, your loss will be more than if you're holding a 1-year bond. Be very careful about this. If you're holding 1-year bond and 10-year bond, the impact of the yield movement will not be same. Long-term bonds are more volatile. Short-term bonds are less volatile. This concept is called duration. Duration. So every bond has something called duration, and duration is positively correlated with maturity. Higher the maturity, higher the bond duration. And what is duration? Duration is nothing but a measurement of bond volatility. Volatility. We know SBI is more volatile than Nifty. If you're, I'm giving you equity example, assuming that all of us are very comfortable in equity. Pardon me, I have not met you personally, so I don't know what is your background. Assuming you know equity, we all know SBI is more volatile than even Infosys or even for that matter Nifty. How do we do that? We are looking at standard deviation of SBI's price movement. Same way, long-term bonds are more volatile as compared to short-term bond. Gains also, losses also, both sides. That is called duration. Duration is also a calculation, by the way. In Excel, if you want to find duration, there is a function called duration. In Excel, there is a function called duration. Settlement, same information it will ask you. So just quickly, I will show you settlement date, same. Whatever information you are getting, settlement date, maturity date it will ask you, coupon it will ask you, yield it will ask you, frequency of coupon payment it will ask you, and same day count convention it will ask you. So if you see, the same thing is asking for a price, same inputs you need for duration. As a result, you will be able to get a duration here. I hope you remember it was a what was the maturity of the bond? Maturity of the bond was 10 years. Duration of the bond is so much. And what is duration going to tell you? Duration tells you roughly, not exactly, roughly percentage change in price for 100 basis point change in yield. Approximate, so it is just a rough calculation I'm giving you, not an exact one. Because this was not a part of a basic bond session, but yesterday I think there was a question of duration. So I'm just quickly telling you, if you don't get it is okay. I would want you to be very sure about the basics. But I'm just telling you that higher the maturity, higher the duration, more is the volatility. So 1% if the yield changes, you will have a 7.5% capital gain or a capital loss. Understand? 1%. If you buy the bond and the yield goes down by 1%, I showed you the yield chart. Remember, yield went from 6.8 to 5.7. That's more than 1%. You will make a capital gain of 7.5%. Plus coupon of, let's say, 5, 6, 7%. That's how you make 14-15% on the bond. But remember, if yield goes up, price will also fall by so and so percentage. That, my dear friends, is what I wanted to tell you about yield. Why does yield change? How is the price calculated? What is the meaning of discounting? Clean price, dirty price, lot of concepts we have done for 1 hour. Can be a heavy thing on a Saturday morning. Please pardon me for that, but I think knowledge is power. If we have knowledge, we can use it in multiple ways. I had said this earlier, I'm saying it again. This is my contact number, this is my email ID. Feel free to reach out to me directly if you have any doubts you want to ask me, any question. I will be more than happy. Sunil, just for your information, this Excel file is all yours. You can share it with the participants also if they want it. I'm stopping here. I'll be happy to take any questions, Sunil.
Thanks, Harish. Thanks for this a detailed session with this Excel sheets and actually it has made it easier for people. You have simplified as easy as possible for any newcomer to come and learn about the bond maths. So there are few questions on this. So now
Sure.
in day count convention, people are asking whether the in case of February, how many days it will be considered.
30 days in February also.
Okay. Then next question they are asking, okay, can we do some calculation for corporate bond using the convention? In corporate bond right now the convention is actual by actual. So is it possible to show a small convention of for corporate bond?
Yeah, so if it is actual by actual and if you're trying to calculate your coupon income, and same example, I'm buying on 31st August, selling on 14th of Jan, for example. So the coupon payment period, I'll give you an example. So I'm taking actual by actual. What does it mean? It means you will get the coupon for actual number of days you are holding, which I will show you how the calculation will work. The denominator also will not be 180 or 365. No, the denominator will also be whatever number of days is there in the coupon period you are holding. For example, this bond gave the last coupon was given by this bond on 3rd of August. This was actually issued on 3rd of August 2020, which is nothing but the last coupon date. This is nothing but the issue date for this bond, 3rd August. So when will the next coupon be paid? Next coupon will be paid on 3rd of February 2020. September, October, November, December, Jan, Feb. 6 months. So this is the next coupon date. So when you're talking about actual by actual, we also want to know the actual number of days between these 2 days also. Actual number of days, which in Excel is nothing but the difference. In Excel, you can take the difference between the 2 days. So this is 21, sorry. So in this 6 months period, there are 184 days. So in your coupon period, you have 184 days. You're buying on 31st, you're selling on 14th. How many days you held the bond? You held the bond for 136 days. How did 136 come? I will tell you. You bought the bond on August 31st, right? You paid on August 31st. You will get 31st August ka interest also. Why did I not take it in 30 by 360? Because in 30 by 360, we don't assume there is a 31st day. We never assume there is a 31st day in any month. But now, because we are seeing actual, you will get the interest for 31st also. September is 30, October is 31, November is 30, December is 31, and January. So this is calculating till 14. So if you are assuming that you will get 14th interest also, then it will be 14 days. If you're going to get interest till 13th only, then you have to take 13. So you have to be very sure when is the settlement date. We are assuming T plus 1. So maybe that is why we are assuming 14 days of January. But I repeat, if 14th is your settlement day, then you will get the interest till yesterday. If 14th is trade date, you will get the money tomorrow only. So you will get 14th interest also. That is why 136. And now, if you have to calculate the coupon, it will be 100 times, assuming the coupon is 5.77% times 136 divided by 184. 136 is actual number of days. 184 is also actual number of days. Now into half, because it's a half yearly coupon. 5.77 is per annum divided by 2 into actual divided by actual. This becomes your accrued interest instead of 2.1316. There will be a difference because number of days have changed. This is as per actual by actual. Back to you, Sunil.
So generally in India, for government securities, it is 30 by 360, and
Yep.
for corporate bond, it is actual by actual. So your calculation for accrued interest will change when you are buying government securities and when you are buying corporate bonds. So you have to be very careful about this. Then another question is, why does the in a normal scenario YTM increases or decreases?
As I explained earlier, the market conditions keep on changing. So I answered that using this information. So we have to keep all these things in mind to understand that every new buyer and every new seller has different expectation about future interest rate. There are many who think interest rates are going to go down, and there are many who think interest rates are going to go up due to so many macroeconomic factors. As a result, you will see people willing to buy and sell at higher or lower yield. So on a demand supply basis, yields will fluctuate.
So next is for corporate bond also, can we use the same price function?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I'll show you in Excel when you're using the function. Say maturity date, coupon, yield, everything will be same. The only difference will be on day count convention. So you can, I hope you can see this. There is an actual by actual also. You can take that for your day count convention, which is 1. I took 4 because that is my 30 by 360. But there is actual by actual also. You just have to change it to 1 and then calculate the price. Price will not be same. Price will be slightly different. But that is how the convention can affect the price. So in Excel function also you get that. Not a problem at all.
Okay. Then the next question is basically not on this session, but they are asking whether there is an advanced session on this fixed income market is also there. Advanced session where you are talking about duration, convexity, and other many things. So whether
Have I spoken about it somewhere? Is that the question?
yeah, advanced session on fixed income.
So I have a YouTube channel on my name, Harish Menon. In that YouTube channel, I have a lot of videos which I have uploaded, which is informative and knowledgeable videos, which is obviously not NSE branded thing. It is more like I do it on my free time. Not only on advanced bonds, so there is a basic bond session. There's an advanced bond session on duration, modified duration, convexity. There is also sessions on futures and options in that particular YouTube channel, which is the only thing which I have done, which is publicly available. All other corporate trainings I have done will not be available in a video form because that is done for different mutual funds and banks. But in my YouTube channel, it's absolutely free. Anybody can go and check that.
Okay, there are few questions which is related to the trading and where I get information. So in my presentation that I will cover.
Sure.
So the next question is, I think you have touched upon that yesterday, but still the question is that okay, what is the difference between yield and interest, and how it impact the debt funds?
So interest is a very layman term. Interest can mean anything. Interest can mean SBI FD rate. Interest can mean call money rate. Interest can mean 10-year yield, whatever. Interest can mean a lot of things. Specifically in bond markets, we use the word yield. So what is interest for general public and janta is yield for bond investors and bond fund managers. As I just mentioned, yield changes due to multiple factors. And as I also mentioned that as interest rate goes up, bond prices fall. So if you're investing in debt mutual funds, the longer duration debt mutual funds, for example, a long-term government security fund, if it has a higher duration, if the yield goes up, the prices will go down that much more. As you must have seen, a lot of debt funds have given negative returns over the last 7 to 10 days because yields went up. So, the last part here, I explained that. So, I think this question got answered due to that. Is it fair to assume that some of these questions were asked before I ended the session?
Yes.
Yeah, so maybe it got clarified as I spoke.
Yeah. So that's why there are some questions I have not taken because for example, how that calculation has come of 6.14. So you have then clarified. So I have not taken that question. I'm just taking the question which is not get clarified during the session. Now somebody is asking how this RBI's OMO and Operation Twist have an impact on the bond yield.
So open market operations done by RBI is nothing but RBI comes into GSEC secondary market. They are actually coming in the GSEC secondary market to either buy bonds or sell bonds. So when they buy bonds, they inject liquidity. This is what open market operation means. So whenever RBI wants to inject liquidity to the system, whenever RBI thinks that liquidity की जरूरत है market में, so it will buy government bonds. Whenever RBI thinks bonds liquidity has to be sucked out. Liquidity has to be withdrawn from the system, taken out. It will sell bonds. Now, this is what it does on a normal day. So, usually, based on monetary policy, based on whether it wants easy liquidity or tough liquidity, it either does this or it does this. It's either or each of the scenario. In Operation Twist, which is a very interesting thing it is doing, what Operation Twist is about, it is buying long term bonds and it is selling short term bonds. So it's not a liquidity exercise because when you buy and sell different bonds in the secondary market, liquidity will not be impacted much. You are not really doing anything. What you're simply doing is you want your long term yields, your long term and medium term yields, you want to go down. You want long term yields to go down and short term yields to rise. In other words, if I may use a jargon here, it is trying to reduce what is called as a term spread. So the difference between a 10-year yield and the overnight rate is very high in India as of now. Overnight is around 3 and 10-year is about 6. That's a 3% difference, which is very high for where we are. RBI thinks so. So RBI is buying the medium to long term bonds. If you buy, prices will go up, yield will go down. And it is selling the short term bonds, trying to make the yield curve a little more logical as per RBI. This is what is called Operation Twist. Back to you, Sunil.
Uh, Somebody wants to know the present value concept, but without Excel. Just to, in a layman language, what is present value calculation is?
Value of 100 rupees today is more than value of 100 rupees after 1 year. This is the present value concept. So if you ask somebody, do you want 100 rupees today or do you want 100 rupees after 1 year? You would always choose 100 rupees today because if you get 100 rupees today, suppose somebody is offering you 100 today, you can invest this and earn interest. Correct? The same 100 after 1 year could be 105. So the present value of 100 because of interest has a future value of 105. That is the basic concept of time value of money. The value of money is not the same if you get it today versus tomorrow. And the difference is interest. Back to you, Sunil.
Yeah. So why the actual by actual and not actual by 365 concept?
No real logic. Actual by actual is the exact number of days that you are dealing with. 365 doesn't consider leap years and non leap years. So the best way to calculate yield is or calculation is actual by actual because it will consider whether it's a leap year, non leap year. It will take all the exact number of days. So I think that's the more logical one.
In case settlement is a holiday, so then what happens?
Next day will be the payment. If settlement is on a Saturday or a Sunday, payment will be done on Monday.
Okay. Whether there is any tax-free bond available in Government of India securities? I
No,
don't think so.
none
No.
of the Government of India securities are tax free. Also, they're free to reach out to me on WhatsApp or email also for questions which they have even later on.
Okay, so I have considered here only the questions which is related to this session. There
Right.
are some specific questions like whether the yield is bottom out, which bond to buy. So those questions we are not considering here because this is a learning session and it is not basically about
Advisory.
investment advisory session. So guys, please. If I have not taken your questions, it is because of some specific reason we have not taken. So Harish, thanks a lot for this again, this detailed session on bond and giving detailed answers to the questions asked by the market participants.
My
Now for
pleasure.
the yeah. So now for the market participants, I will take you through some presentations because there are some questions on specifically on the uh, how to invest in bond. So I am here basically focusing more on in National Stock Exchange for retail investor, how they can buy a specific bond, whether it is a government of India securities or whether it is a corporate bond. So basically, these are the avenues which are available in the capital market, and all these avenues are available for all the capital market trading members. So we are providing a non-competitive bidding for government of India securities. uh, it is a primary market. Then there is a public issue of a bond for again for primary market. Then there is a trading is available for government of India securities in capital market. Trading is available for public issued bond in the capital market, and there are some debt ETFs with the underlying of corporate bond. The most right now, which is in limelight, is a Bharat bond ETF. Then there is a ETF based on government of India securities. There is a ETF based on some money market instrument as well. So these are the basic avenues available. So first is, say for example, non-competitive bidding. So we are provided a platform to the trading member on our IPO platform called eGSEC platform, where all this government of India securities, treasury bill, and state development loan auction is done. We provide the information of this auction well in advance. Whenever RBI come with the press release, the auction information is provided. It is available to all most of the retail investors, and we provide what is the minimum value, what is the maximum value, and how much you can buy. So those all information is available. The investor will go to the trading member and provide their application or a bid along with the funds. This information will be provided by a trading member through this eGSEC platform on to the exchange, and then we provide this information to the Reserve Bank of India. And in a non-competitive, the investor will get the security. The security investor will get in a demat form, so they don't have to worry about having a CHGL account or a HGL account of Reserve Bank of India. They will get security directly into their demat account. So, and non-competitive bidding, you don't have to mention price. Whatever be the weighted average price of the competitive bidding, at that price the investor will get, so he don't have to worry about the price. So this non-competitive bidding is now we have made available for GSEC, state development loan, and treasury bill, all three of these things. So this is basically a detail ki who are allowed to buy, which are the securities, how much they can buy, and what are the criteria. So those things are there. If they are already your UCC or registered investor, then no separate KYC is required from our side. That KYC is enough because they hold the demat account PAN number, so they are good to go and invest in the government of India securities. So this is about government of India securities. The detail is available on our website. Then another part is a public issued bond. So generally in India, most of the bonds are a privately placed bond where retail does not have access, but there are certain issuer which comes with the public issued bonds, and this public issued bonds is the procedure is similar to again equity IPO. It is again done through the exchanges, but here the ASBA is mandatory, and the members are allowed to place bid on behalf of their investors. So public issue bonds. So you have to see in the issuance case whether there is any public issue is coming. If there is any public issue, the investor can do in the public issue, but you have to be careful. Is that as Harish sir in his presentation spoken that government of India securities is a risk-free bond. So if you are holding till maturity, you don't possess any risk other than the reinvestment risk. That's it. But in case of corporate bond, there might be a risk of a credit risk, and there might be a erosion of a capital. So you have to be very careful while investing in a public issued bond. You have to see the credit rating, you have to see the company, and then only invest. Don't assume that okay, it is a bond, so it is a risk free. So the risk is attached to that. Even though you are keeping till maturity, there is a risk of a credit risk is available in the case of corporate bonds. So you have to be very careful while investing in this kind of bonds. Now, third is government of India security. So people have asked a lot of questions where I can trade in government of India securities. So we have seen that this year, because we have started non-competitive bidding, we are seeing that the trading is happening in a government of India securities in the capital market. So anybody who is a member of capital market are allowed to trade in government of India securities in similar to equity shares. So how you trade equity shares, how you trade ETFs. Similarly, you will trade in Government of India dated securities. You can trade in state development loan. You can trade in treasury bills. The state development loan, the series is HG. It is by mistake, it is written TB. So the state development loan, this is HG. And as I said earlier, the trading is happen at a dirty price. So you don't have to worry about the accrued interest. It is inclusive in the price. So whatever price you are trading, that price you are going to settle. And now since the dirty price, you can calculate the clean price, and you also can calculate the yield as shown by Mr. Harish sir. So settlement and everything is almost similar to equity shares. There is a netting is allowed. If a retail investor can do a buying and selling during the day, I means it is a fixed income. So I will assume that they will buy for a long term investment. But these are the things are there. Tick size is 1 paisa because it is in 100 rupees. So that's why the tick size is not 5 paisa, 1 paisa. And same for state development loan. Only difference for state development loan and treasury bill is that the market lot is 100. So you have to buy in the lot of 10,000 and in multiple of 10,000. Now, where I can get this information? So in our new website, if you go in market data, fixed income and debt market, bonds traded on CM, there is uh, you can select a GSEC and you will get the information of GSEC trading today. So you can see that 7% GS 2021 has traded at 99 rupees, and the total value is 9,009 rupees, total quantity is 100. So this way you can come to know, okay, what are the securities which are traded today, and what is the last traded price, what is the previous close, how much volume has happened. So you get the information of government securities, treasury bill, and state development loan on this page. Similarly, all public issued bonds which are listed with the exchange are available for trading in the capital market segment. So this is the things, and again it is available in same way the way it is available for equity. So the series is generally N1, N2, N3, Y1, Y2, Y3, and I think recently we have started with a Z% also, Z1, Z2, Z3, because one single issuer can have a multiple bonds. So that's why the series will change. So you have to be very careful which bond you are buying. You have to see the ISN, because for a single issuer there can be 100 bonds. So you have to be very careful while buying a bond. You have to see its nature and other maturity year, whether it has a put call options or not. So those all information you have to keep in mind while any bond. So trading will happen at a face value, as Harish sir has mentioned that for government securities the face value is 100, but for corporate bond the issuer can have a face value of 1,000, 10,000, 1 lakh. So based on that face value the price will be there. Again the trading will happen at a dirty price. Market lot is 1, and the settlement again you can do since it is a normal market type, you can do intraday buying and selling in those bonds. And bond ETF, as I said, again it is traded in this market. The series is EQ. You have to see what is the underlying of that bond, whether it is a government securities or whether it is a corporate bond, and based on that, then you have to decide to buy these bonds. Now you can get the information again, same place, market data, fixed income and date. Instead of G6, if you select a bond, you will come to know which are the bonds which are available for trading on the exchange platform. And you can see the bond type, you can see the coupon rate, you can see its face value. You can see that face value is this much, so the price is around 1,200. Face value is 10,000, so price is around 10,985. So you can see that the price is dependent on the face value of the bond, and it is these are the dirty price. And we have also given the credit ratings to make you understand, and maturity date. But you have to be very careful, though the maturity date is there might be a put call option, so you have to careful while doing a pricing whether there is any put or a call options. So the bond may get matured before the actual maturity date because of the put call options or a call options. So this is about all these four things. And last one is a debt ETF, as I said, is available again in the capital market segment. So these are the avenues which are available to retail. This information is also available on website. And now I have provided you the place where you can see the information of public issued bonds, because there are a lot of questions on that. Can I buy state development loan? Yes, you can buy state development loan in a non-competitive bidding platform. You can buy it in CM segment. People will say that there is no liquidity, but liquidity will come if you show some buying interest. So if you show buying interest, automatically somebody who has the hold security, he will come and sell. So don't wait for that. The liquidity will get created once you show the interest. So if you want to buy any bond, specific bond, then you can show the interest on the trading system. Automatically many people will come to know, and the trading can take place. So this is I have decided, okay, we will have a small presentation, so you will get an idea about where in case of fixed income securities for a retail investor. I'm again harping on retail investor, where can they get this information about these things. So I will just check whether there is any additional questions based on this. So somebody is asking about new website address. So new website is now the NSE India. So old website is now is NSE India 1, and the new website is NSE India. And on the new website in market data, this information is available. We will provide our contact information to you. Interest for holidays, already sir has said that if there is a holiday, then the coupon is paid on the next day. So study material you will get at various places and on exchange also there. So we are also working from the exchange side to make all the fixed income related information at single place. So please give us some time, so that at a single place you will have all the information related to fixed income, whether it is a primary market, whether it is a secondary market, whether it is a OTC negotiated market where the institutional player trades. So at least you will come to know at what yield the price is going, and also some basic information or FAQs on the bonds. So we all are working on this, and we will try to we will ensure that this information will available at one place, so that you are able to participate more actively in fixed income market. Now there is a question where I will get the information of put call option. So as sir has suggested, you have to go and check the information memorandum of that security. So information memorandum is available on exchange website. Information memorandum is available on issuer website. Then NSDL, CDSL also have their website where they provide the bond, specific bond related information, in which they said if there is any put call option, the information of put call option is provided in that also. So at various places where the security is listed, again in depositories, you will get the information of the put call options, but you have to go and search in the term sheet or in the information memorandum of that security. So that's it from my side. I think we don't have any more question. So this is from our side. So again, thank you very much, Harish sir, for coming and giving this 2 days extensive session on fixed income. It is very useful, and we can see a lot of requests from the market participant also. Now, if I want to trade, where I should see this information? I think so. This will create an interest in the market participant to learn about the fixed income market, and also to learn about how to invest in the fixed income securities. So, thanks once again, everybody. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Thank you,
Thank
Sunil.
you. And now we will close this session. Thank you.